When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers.
My name is Drew. I'm a senior teacher, and I arrived in Yangzhou in October 2018. But basically, it was a desk job, and it had a really long title. That's just not what I wanted to be doing with my life. I'm from a very expensive city. I've always needed a roommate. Yeah, and it was really paycheck to paycheck. Basically the last year of university is when I knew I had to go, and that was about over 3 years ago. Because I knew if I didn't do it, then I'd live to regret it. And I think it's always better to regret doing something than to regret doing nothing. One of the big draws of my TEFL was that there was the opportunity to apply for jobs through it. And I got upwards of 10, 12 interviews. The first one of many interviews, and I went through a bunch of other interviews, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I probably should come here. In terms of work hours and expectations, things feel very doable here. Well, when I first got off the plane, one of my suitcases, so half of the things that I brought here was gone, and I could have let that destroy me, but I decided not to. And everyone that I met right off the bat was just really friendly and really helpful. I'm a bit of a self-starter, but just having people around who are willing to help and do understand, that you're a human being, that was everything. I think saying goodbye to people back home. People have solid ties back home, especially if you live 24, 25 years before deciding to leave a place. You put your roots down, and it can be hard to decide to leave. Having the time to work on myself has been a really big deal over the last year, because leaving home is very difficult. Life back home keeps going, and not being there for that with the people that you care about, that can be really difficult. So I've taken the time here to work on myself and put more time into my hobbies. I've gotten really into cooking, playing guitar, writing, and I have the time to do those things. Even though I've liked previous jobs I've had in my life, they were still 9 to 5. I've actually had jobs in the past where I was working 60 hours a week. There's no time to do anything except work. I don't like looking back and saying I would have done this differently, because that's not going to help me go anywhere. But looking back at the last year, I don't think so. Maybe I would have left sooner. My main expectation was that it was going to be something different, and that's exactly what I was looking for. Like a lot of young people back home, I accumulated a little bit of debt in my early 20s. And here I have the ability to fix that, and that's what I've been doing. I've sent home enough money to pay off my debts. In order to save up that much back home, I probably would have had to work 9 to 5 for about 6 years. I think the biggest change for me would have been around maybe after I had been here for about 4 months. I took a trip to Vietnam and Thailand, and just seeing other parts of the world, I felt that much further away from home. I think that's when I really started to realize that I was changing as a person, because I became more and more okay with it. I feel more independent now than I ever have in my life, and I think that was when I started realizing that. That's when I started to grow more as a person. But also, I've taken the time to start living in a vacuum more and stop comparing myself to others and only comparing myself to myself from the past. Yeah.